Kia ora, and welcome back to this series on managing madness. This session I'm talking about connection and the importance of connection in coming back to our sense of selves as solid creatures. And oftentimes when we're mad, it's because we're disconnected. We feel like we've gone a long way from the source of who we are, and that can manifest as a feeling of disconnection from the people around us, from our communities at large. We can feel really isolated and cut off. So that's a really common state when people are really going a bit crazy. So when we look at connection, what does it actually mean? And I went back to the dictionary, and it describes a relationship, an association, a link, or a bond. So to feel like we're linked to others, to feel like we are bonded to others, to feel like we belong, to feel like we're in association with others and in community with others. Those are the feelings that we all need to come back to our center. So connection is really key when we're looking at therapeutic relationships. And interestingly, I was at a workshop a few months ago, and one of the women there, who's a psychologist, was saying that that's their latest research in psychology, says that the connection formed in the therapeutic relationship is far more important than any tool that the therapists use. So as she said, people don't care how much you know, they want to know how much you care. And I know that for sure as a practitioner, that a lot of the people I see, a lot of them would benefit just from having a caring friend or a caring family member, really take time to connect with them and listen to them and accept them and hear them and really give time to them. And I know that with mental illness, people are often afraid of it. They shy away from it, and they are nervous especially if someone's got a diagnosis, right? Then they're in this little box and only a professional can help them. But in actual fact, that's furthest from the truth. Most of the people that I know that are mentally unwell and have mentally identified conditions or labels, they're very sensitive people. And if you think about the maddies of the world, like a lot of them are also the most creative people. So the world's mad, and more people are going mad. So that madness that we're seeing out there, the increasing anxiety and stuff, we label that as the disease, but what if it's actually the barometer? What if it's the actual indicator that, hey, we're off key here? I believe it is. I believe that there's so much anxiety in the world today because there's so much uncertainty. It's a healthy, normal, natural response to a fast-changing world. And we need some different ways of seeing it. Well, that's what I feel anyway. So I need a different way of seeing it. And I'm offering that to you and encouraging you to join our conversation about how to heal and find wholeness through connection. So that's what this session is about today. And in Chinese medicine, the organ of relationship is the heart. And so as we talked about in previous sessions, the heart is the part of us that's connected to the true nature of who we are, to our divine whole qualities. And when we're at home in our hearts, when we're connecting to someone else heart to heart, we're in touch with those beautiful divine qualities that we all have on the inside of who we are. And we need to have an experience of those qualities to feel good, right? To feel loved, we need to have access to our heart. And the way that we feel love is through connection, through relationships often. And this knowing of the mystics, that the heart is where it's at, is also now evidenced by modern science. So in modern science, we now can prove that the electromagnetic field of the heart is 60 times stronger than the brain. 60 times stronger than the brain. And you can look this up online. There's this wonderful group of scientists in the US who go under the banner of Heart Math Institute. There's tons of stuff online about the heart as the ruler of relationship. And that when we come back to heart-based living, we have genuine connection with others. And that genuine connection creates a field of energy. So when we come into the field of someone who's heart awake, heart aligned and heart whole, we start to find balance. So for the mad people in the world, they need to come into relationship with others who are in balance in order to them to sort of start to reconnect to that state that's already inside them, like we've already got whole hearts inside us. Beep, beep. Little car outside agreeing, right? So what happens when we're not in balance? And I'm going to refer to these charts that I had made up behind me. So in this top chart here, which I've called a problem, up the top there you can see anxiety, and there's a whole bunch of question marks. So the thing is, anxiety and a quest for meaning, they're closely related. And if we look at what happens in anxiety, it's a state of holding back. There's unclear thinking. There's stuck energy, which people can often feel in their body. They can feel it in their abdomen. They can feel it in their heart. There's blocked emotion. People, when they're anxious, they can feel limited and frustrated. They can't open up. They can't unfold. They can't express themselves. There's a generalized state of nervousness, fear, and worrying. So what that state of anxiety can do if we stay in it for too long, it can take over us. So remember we talked about how emotions can override our thinking and override our sensibilities. So if someone's anxious for a long time, they might want to turn that signal off and get some medication. So in the picture here is prescribed medications, but we also use unprescribed medications. So recreational drugs, alcohol, party pills, fizzy drinks with substances in it, all that stuff. So the medications then suppress the feelings, and they can create a lot of fog in the head. So if we're anxious and we use the meds route, we often get, thick-headed. And then after a while, that thick-headed causes sort of a lack of clarity. The heart's capacity to see what's going on can be broken up, right? So there's a little heartbreak there. And if that goes on for a long time, then eventually people feel quite shamed. So shame is a big challenge in the mental illness cycle. When someone's been out of whack for a while, they can start to feel really ashamed, and then they hide away, like they go into the background and cut off. So that's why connection's really key. And that's why we're doing these programs, because one solution for all of this mental health crazy thing that we're in now, is to learn more, learn about what's going on, learn about our inside state, learn who we are as spiritual beings. Connect with our self-identity as a unique expression of a shared life force. When we get to know who we are, then we can start to feel more connected. We can connect the dots on our life experience. We can start to connect more with others. We can start to integrate our experiences and feel more peaceful about them. Then we start healing, and we can share. And all of these states of, learning, connecting, integrating, healing, sharing, they all bring us back into balance, because connection is natural. And when we feel more connected on the inside, everything in our outer world starts to open up. So following this is a little animation that talks about that and how inherently we're all whole. That's the good news. And so this whole series is about, bringing us back to recognize that. If anything you learned here is helping you, please share it. It's making the world go around, right?
You are an original spark of energy, and no one else can be you. Did you know that deep down, you and everybody else in this world is looking for wholeness? All of life has light and shadowy sides. Sometimes we're feeling grounded and centered like the earth, or powerful and radiant like the sun. At other times, our energy is scattered, and we can feel like we are drowning in the overwhelm of life coming at us. To find balance, we've got to get into flow with our energy and get to know our energy. When we feel more connected on the inside, our relationships and the world around us start to open up. What you don't learn at school is that there is no need to compete or compare. You, being you, is your best offering to life. There is no us and them. We are all individual and unique, and at the same time we are part of a dynamic, interconnected energy system. Learn to connect with your energy, and you will naturally bring your best offering to life.